Hi everybody, it's John with Backyard Eden, and I just thought I'd bring you a video today on how to plant onions. Stay tuned. Alright guys, so we're back here in the backyard garden and thought I'd bring you a quick video on how to plant onions. These particular onions that I'm planting today are from sets. Those are the little 1-year-old onions that you can buy at the store. You generally get 50 to 100 in a bag for a couple bucks. And what those are just simply first-year onions that they pull when they're that size. Let them go dormant. And essentially they're already baby onions, but essentially what they do is they just put them aside and then they sell them the next year as sets. Now, I have seen some people experience some issues with planting onion sets where they simply just have they plant the onion seed, or they plant the onion sets, and all it does is really go to seed. And that is because onions are a biennial, meaning that they seed them, or they go to seed in the second year. And so with these are first year onions, you do have the risk of that. But all in all, it's a super easy way to plant onions. You can also plant onions from seed if you have the timing just right. I've already passed my deadline to plant onions from seed. I do have some in the greenhouse. Those are green onions though. Those will be going out into the herb beds. But these will be onion sets. I bought two different kinds. I bought candy onions, simply a yellow onion, yellow sweet onion, and those will be planted in a different spot. But the ones I'm planting today to show you how to plant onions are red onions. Some people call them purple, some people call them red. In my opinion, they are purple onions. We can argue about that later. It's no big deal. That's how I was raised, that they were purple onions. So that's what we're planting today, guys. So let's get into it. So I'm going to be planting these using the square foot method. Now, what that means is I grow in raised beds, and so I'm going to be planting a certain number of onions per square foot. Now, I don't have a tape measure. I don't have a ruler out here. I'm not trying to do it 150% perfect. I am simply loosely basing it on the square foot method. I'll be planting about 9 onion sets per square foot. I have about 6 feet of usable space, so if you do the math, that is 54 onions. The reason I only have 6 feet of available space in this particular bed is I have some comfrey that is growing in this bed as well in the front, which is where I'm going to be planting the onions. So that's taking up some space. And then I also have some garlic that I planted in the fall, and that is taking up some space as well. So I have about 6 feet of usable space. So that'll be about 54 onions. That's a good spot, a good amount for this bed. I do have 100 sets, or so the bag says, with those. So I'll have to be planting, I'm going to be putting about, in this bed right over here on this other side of me. As you can see, some of the raised beds up along this fence right here. The bed right here beside me, I'll be planting about 50 in this one. So it'll work out between the two beds. That'll finish off the bag. Now, when planting onions, there are some things to remember. You are planting the onion, unless you're wanting green onions. The whole goal in planting these particular types of onions are for bulbs. So you don't really want to feed them a ton of nitrogen. You really just want to go with an organic, or at least I go with an organic, just balanced fertilizer. I used a 5-5-5 when I prepped this bed, but I'm not going to add any additional fertilizer to the soil. I'm going to go in, space my onions out, and plant them. So let's get started. So, we're in the bed, and right here, okay, I'm going to pan you around. Right here is my comfrey. Now, is it just in this very front corner? As you can see, it's sprouting through the soil. No. The comfrey roots kind of run all out through this bed, even where the camera's setting, and that's okay. Each year I kind of dig some of those up so I can propagate it and make new plants. So what I've done is I've dug this area here and so remove the roots. If I missed any, of course, they'll sprout as well, but I'm not too concerned about that. So they're right here in the front, probably this front square foot right now. So I'm just going to come over here off to the side of it and start my square foot. I'm just going to simply make a small sort of indication on where I'm going to start, and then I'm going to plant using the square foot method. Alright, so here is my indication. There's my little line that I drew. That's about a square foot. That's about a square foot. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply take my sets. Here's a set right here. This is a 1-year-old onion. And I'm going to simply I'm not going to push them all the way in the soil just yet. I want to make sure my spacing's about right. Okay. So, once I have the spacing about right, then I'll press them all, to the depth that they need to be. Alright, can you see that? Can you see these onions here? Okay, so that's about the spacing that I want. I want 9 per square foot or so. Now, the thing about onions is you don't want to plant them too deep. That's one of the biggest mistakes people make. So, when you're planting these onions, you have 2 sections. You have a section, see those that clearly has some roots on it, and then you have the top. You want to plant root side down, of course, just like that. And you really just want to bury the onion just about up to about maybe a 1/2 inch. Okay, you want to leave that rest of that just sticking out. Okay, in years past I've buried the whole thing and didn't end up with an onion. Ended up with a ton of great greens, but not onions. So, here's what I'm doing. I'm going to space all these out a little bit here. So that's about my square foot. I'm just going to press them in about a 1/2 inch. Really no more than that. Gonna pull the soil to around them. We'll go back as the season goes on and kind of pull the soil away. Just gonna press down, pull the soil around. Just like that. Just like that. Voila. So, I'm going to come back after I have this all planted and show you the end. Alright guys, so got the onions planted, at least what I could fit in this bed behind me. This is the bed that I also planted the asparagus in, if you've already seen that video. I'll be going through the middle and planting some carrots down the middle square foot. I'll have onions, comfrey, and garlic in the front. That's it guys, for planting onions. Just remember, you don't want to plant them too deep. You don't want to give them an overabundance of nitrogen. And if they start to go to seed early, using the sets, you can always just top the greens off, and that'll send more energy back down to the bulb. You can do that for a few times and to see if you can get the bulb a little bit bigger. But yeah, that's it guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, your family, and I hope you're able to grow some fantastic onions this year. We grew some pretty good ones last year, and I'm wanting to always improve on it. So definitely stay tuned and see how they turn out. If you haven't checked us out on social media, go ahead and do that now. Go to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Pinterest and give us a like over there. And if you haven't checked us out on our website, go to www.backyard-eden.com. And as always, guys, this is John. Have a great day. Hey, you made it to the end. Awesome. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and do that right below this video. And please, if you enjoyed it, share with your friends. And I hope that you will come back and continue to watch our content, and also have an awesome day.